All right, today we're going to follow a student named Liam as he tries to find an apartment in Milan. It's a fun way to learn some really practical Italian. You know, the kind of stuff you'd actually use if you were there.
So let's just dive right in. Here's the start of Liam's phone call. He says, "Buongiorno, mi chiamo Liam." A perfect, simple introduction. "Good morning, my name is Liam." Then, straight to business. "Cerco un appartamento." I'm looking for an apartment. And where? Vicino all'università. Right, near the university. Super clear and direct.
Okay, so who exactly is Liam? Well, the slide gives us the rundown. First up, he's a studente di architettura a Milano, an architecture student in Milan. And here's the kicker. Vive in un albergo costoso. He's living in an expensive hotel. Ah, that makes sense. No wonder he's so urgently telling people, cerca un appartamento. He's looking for an apartment.
And what do you know? It looks like he's in luck. The real estate agent says they've got the perfect place for him. And get this, it's in Zona Città Studi. Now, if you translate that literally, it's something like City of Studies Zone, which is basically the main university district in Milan. So it's exactly where he wants to be. Naturally, Liam asks the first question anyone would ask, right? Quante stanze ci sono? How many rooms are there? This is such a key phrase if you're ever looking for a place. So, what's the answer? Let's find out.
Okay, here's the layout. The agent says it has un soggiorno, a living room, una camera da letto, that's the bedroom, then una cucina piccola, a small kitchen, and un bagno, a bathroom. And hey, there's even a nice little extra, un balcone, a balcony. Sounds like a solid, pretty complete apartment, doesn't it?
Now, this is actually a super interesting point about the language. See, in Italian, there isn't just one word for room. You've got a few options. Stanza is your general all-purpose word for room. It could be anywhere. But camera is more specific to a home, and a lot of the time, it just means bedroom. Then you've got this word, locale, which you'll see in real estate listings, but weirdly, it can also mean a pub or a restaurant. Good one to know.
So let's get into the details of the furniture. The agent says, nel soggiorno, so in the living room, there's un divano comodo, a comfy sofa. Nice. Then due poltrone, two armchairs. And of course, una grande TV, a big TV. Sounds pretty comfortable.
All right, moving on. Nella camera da letto, in the bedroom. What's in there? We've got un letto, a bed, obviously. Un comò, which is a chest of drawers, and, really important, un grande armadio, a big wardrobe for all his stuff. Yep, so far so good.
Okay, the main rooms seem to be furnished. But what about the really essential stuff? Liam's going to want to know about the kitchen and the bathroom, right? Is it fully equipped? Let's see.
And yes, it looks like they are. The kitchen has a frigorifero e fornelli. That's a fridge and a stovetop. Also, a tavolo con quattro sedie, a table with 4 chairs. And check out the bathroom. It has both a doccia, a shower, and a vasca da bagno, a bathtub. That's a nice touch.
Okay, let's hit pause for a second on the story for a quick but super important grammar point. When you want to say there is for just one thing, you use c'è. Like in the example, c'è una grande TV. See that little apostrophe? It's really ci è squished together. C'è, there is.
And what if there's more than one thing? Well then, c'è changes to ci sono. This is for there are. So, going back to the armchairs, you'd say ci sono due poltrone. There are 2 armchairs. So, c'è for one thing, ci sono for 2 or more. Simple, but you gotta remember it. All right, so let's recap. The apartment is in the perfect spot, it's fully furnished, it has everything he needs. I mean, it sounds amazing. Which, of course, leads us to the big, unavoidable question, especially for a student. What about the price? And here it is. The agent says it's 85 euros a month. Wait, what? 85 euro al mese. For a furnished apartment in Milan? That can't be right. That's not just a good deal, that's completely unbelievable. It's definitely too good to be true.
Yeah, Liam thinks so too. He's smart enough to be suspicious. He asks the agent, "Perché costa così poco?" Which is exactly what we're all thinking. Why does it cost so little? Come on, there's gotta be a catch.
Yep, there it is. The agent's reply is so ominous. Manca una cosa importante, which means one important thing is missing. Oh man, what could it be? The heating? The windows?
And here we have it, the punchline. The one important thing that's missing is il tetto, the roof. The apartment doesn't have a roof. Okay, well, that would certainly explain the price.
So, okay, a roof is probably not something we can negotiate on, but this whole story is a pretty funny and memorable way to learn some of that essential apartment hunting vocabulary, right? And it does make you think. Beyond the absolute basics like, a roof, what's the one thing an apartment absolutely must have for it to feel like home? Something to think about. And that's all for this little lesson.